is just an art of practice. So also Islam. It's not an art of. It's not a religious. It's an art of practice. So also the tradition too. It's art of practice. That is, this is where we do this thing. We do this thing in this form, and we do this one in this form. We are one. So we have a meeting point because we live in the world, and we are all practicing what we are talking about in the world here. And in this, definitely there are some places where the parent will belong to another religion and the children belong to another religion. That does not say they are not one. But everyone goes to the way he decided to go. So that's just about it.
Okay, because
there's no way you can rule out Christianity out of doctrine too. And the doctrine of Christian is different from that of tradition. It's just doctrine. And that doctrine is man-made, not even God-made.
So are you saying that, in traditional religious practices, we get to see sacrifices with lots of bloods and the rest of them. But in the Christianity, they will tell you, oh no, it is a sin. It is against God. God has not preached to us to do things like that. So are you saying that they are interwoven?
This is what I'm saying. When you come to the issue of shedding of blood, let's start from the Bible.
Okay.
It depends on the motive of shedding the blood. Okay. Yes, if I'm celebrating my birthday now, and I decide to kill a cow, I will slaughter a cow, then I shed the blood. But I've not shed the blood for ritual. But I kill that cow for people to eat, to celebrate with me.
In this case, we were talking about, dedicating that blood, using it for sacrificial purposes. That, of course, that's what we're talking about. But just before we even hit that point,
yes.
Let's look at Nigerian society. These days we have Christians and Muslims, going after traditional religion practitioners, like not allowing them practice, not giving them the freedom to practice their religion. And there have been clashes there, and they're notable is the issue of Kwara State and all that. Is it something that should be that way?
All right, thank you. It is not necessary that it happen that way. Because God himself created everybody. If God had wanted just only a religion, he knows how to do it. And what we are fighting for, what we are quarreling about, is not our own. I decided to be a Christian because I have seen it that the God that I'm serving satisfies me. And it's a visible God. And when I pray to him alone in my room, I receive answer. That is why I decided to go on Christian way. And then when, like what you said the other time now, that one that happened in Kwara, in anywhere, I don't see any reason why one religious should fight another religious. Because we are not the one that is going to judge. I say, I am a Christian. I'm serving God. Muslim, the name that we call it may be different. We call our own God. Muslim call them Allah. And that is not about that one. I don't know about other religion.
Yes.
But I'm praying to God. And they said they are praying to God. It's also when I was in the school, there's a course. We run African traditional religion. So, and people practice it. They still believe that they are serving God. But all what we know is that we only have only one God. Then when we now get to him, and depending on the heart and the motive of our serving, that will judge us. Not quarreling, not fighting. We cannot fight for God. Okay. And God knows how to fight for himself if we want to. It's not our responsibility, it's not our duty to fight for God. It's not our duty to say we want to forcefully eradicate a religion for another one.
All right, let's look at the new Soun of Ogbomoso. Yes, recall that when the Oni of Ife married prophetess, people
Yes.
talked about a lot of things. Some people say no, light and darkness cannot meet. They condemned it and all of that. Now, the new Soun of Ogbomoso, he is a pastor, and people are also looking at it. How does he intend to do? Because I don't know what happens there, but there are some stories that he will have to go through some
Rituals,
cleansing
yes.
and rituals and all of that. How did you receive that news, and what's your perception about the whole thing?
Thank you very much. You see, right away from the Bible, you know, it's not a sin.
To
Yes, it's not a sin. I have not. I'm going to talk. I'm going to talk on my own perspective, the way I look at it.
okay.
Now, it's not a sin for a pastor to become a king, depending on the motive. You see, right away from the Bible, you know the first king in the Bible was Saul. It was Samuel that was on throne, was directing the people. And you know the Bible says when the righteous rules, people rejoice. I've not seen it as something wrong for a pastor to become a king,
Okay.
depending on the motive of that man.
Okay.
Yes, because Paul the apostle said, when I'm in Rome, I behave like a Roman. And so on and so forth like that. It now finalized that it's not that I want to become them, but I want to win them.
Okay.
So it's possible for a pastor to become a king,
So
and
that
if
he
he has
can
a
win the
motive,
souls for God.
yes, and in this country now,
Okay.
we have many of us who are revivalists.
Okay, yes, that's actually
Who are revivalists?
that's actually the argument of some people. The traditional schools in Africa, especially in Nigeria, should remain. Anybody who is occupying it should remain a traditional practitioner, worshiping any of the gods of the land, and not, and not adulterating the traditional religion, ascended the throne to be, with
Okay.
the intention of killing the people's traditional religion. Is it okay?
Yes, it's okay. Killing, because what we are talking African traditional religions, like I've told you earlier, God only initiated everything, not the religion in particular. He created men. And then you see most of these practices we are talking about, it was initiated due to lack of knowledge then. You get my point now? Okay, how can you just imagine? I just go to the farm, I use my cutlass, I find the cutlass, I cut a wood myself, I use the part of the wood to cook. Then the other one, I carve it, I place it in a corner, and I started worshipping it. The wood that I cut myself. Is it not ignorant?
You may
So,
not
no, my
say,
people are saying
you may
that
not
I might
say it's
die.
ignorance, because the people, they call on this wood and it provides answers to their questions.
Really?
That's their own personal
No,
faith.
no wood can provide answer to question.
So are you saying
Yes,
there is no voodoo?
no wood, nothing apart from God, no
Alright.
creature apart
Let's
from God
let's look at
that
this
can answer
argument.
prayer, that can give answer to question. No, so it is only God alone that can answer prayer, that can give answer to questions.
Let me create this scenario for you.
Okay, sir.
There is this belief when the white men came, because before the white men came,
Yes.
we were practicing our traditions.
All right.
Then the white men brought Christianity.
Yes.
They gave it to us. They left. They went back to their country. They wed men marrying each other. They wed women marrying each other. They wed human beings marrying animals.
And objects.
They do awful things, and they say it is a free world. Now, even in the United States, there's a place that a city that have approved people eating human flesh, but not that you will kill the person and eat. No, but maybe when the person dies, the person can sign, my flesh can be eaten. Now we experience all these things, and we now call them Western world practices, but that is what they gave us. Now it's assumed that, okay, the African tradition, we are killing it. We do not believe in it anymore. But those white men that gave us that, they've moved on.
Thank you. We're still saying the same thing. God himself is the only one that answers prayer. I still maintain that. Then, as we are winning soul, today now, many will give their life to Christ.
Sure.
Today, many will withdraw from Christianity. So there is, it depends on your decision. That is why the Bible names of people a backslider. That is, it is possible for somebody to cross from the light to darkness and from the darkness to the light. So, let's say from Roma, the Catholic we are talking about today, which was the first church. You know, Catholic himself means universal. Then there was only a single church. That is named Catholic. And that meaning of the Catholic is universal. That means universal church.
Yes.
Then, if you agree with me, you know, this Christianity we are talking about is the practice of Israel. Is the religion of Israel. And you know, Jesus said, he came to his own people, but his own people rejected him. But unto those that accepted him, he gave them power to automatically become the children of God. So, English, that we are talking about, English people are not the founder of Christianity. It was, they accepted it as we accepted it in Nigeria too. Human beings are equal before God. God has not seen any human being superior to other one. So that they brought it to this place. Yes, okay, look at the dress I'm putting on now. I'm a Yoruba man. I'm an African man. This is not African dress. It's not a Yoruba dress. But because the white men or people believe that this is good for official purposes, and it sinks to my brain, so that is why I put it on. It's not this is not my own.
All right.
So we can take something from anywhere.
Okay.
The white men, it's not their religion.
Okay, please. Yes, the Israelites, you know, the first set of disciples of Jesus
Yes.
were largely Jews, and still today, Judaism is still, largely practiced in Israel. Very few of them are Christians, so to
Yes.
speak. They practice Judaism. So that means even that which we have embraced, they are yet to embrace it, you know, to the tune for which we have embraced it. And there are several school of thoughts that are saying that until Africans go back to their gods, you know, there won't be development in Africa. We have seen nations like, the Asian countries, the Indians, they worship, whatever it is, they worship, and there is progress. But here in Nigeria, we are more Christian than the West. We are more Islamic than the Arab nations. And nothing is developing. Industries are going down for churches to take over. With time, wouldn't we lose who we are as a person? And now we're having pastors ascending the throne. I don't have anything against it, with the aim of going there to erode, you know, the traditional culture. Very soon, won't we be like fugitive who are neither here nor there?
Not at all. Not at all. Like we have said, we are talking about God and not gods. I don't believe in gods. I believe only in one God that started with capital G. So the other one that we are talking about, okay, if you look at the history of the gods that we are talking about, let's take them one after the other. They have God of iron.
And they were humans too.
They were human beings. We have God of thunder and all the rest like that. But we have God of the Bible. The God of the Bible, which Jesus Christ came to die for us. And Jesus Christ alone was the one that died and resurrected. Are you following my point? That we still take that belief that once we are serving the only living God, we are talking about progress or not progress. It's not the religion that is not killing, that is killing progress of a country. It is because we have a righteous leaders, people who don't have fear of God in their heart. That you are a Christian, you are a Muslim, you are a son, that does not say you should behave anyhow.
All right. Or righteous leaders. So
Yes, or righteous
and
leaders.
And Nigerians have come to argue that, especially during swearing in, that if traditional objects were to be used as
For the
objects,
swearing in
for
too.
swearing and not Bibles or Qurans, that there could be more sanity within the government.
Okay, thank you very much. Let me
Because
tell
there
you
will be
something.
consequences immediately.
Yes, that
no
is
grace.
what they are saying. But I will still go against it. Even though, no, listen, God himself is greater than any other gods that we're talking about, the living God. But look at the way the swearing is being conducted. They say, okay, you are going to, you want to use Bible now. Are you a Christian? You say I'm a Christian.
Yeah.
Are you a Muslim? You say Muslim. They give you Bible. And they say, okay, you read after me, so, I'm so, and at the end of the day, say, God help me. Is that swearing? Why don't say, okay, let God punish me if I will go and see maybe God will not take
As
it.
a
Ordinary-
Christian, you know our God is
It's
slow
merciful.
to anger.
Yes.
But people will prefer the moment you say that it will strike you with thunder.
No, you
And
don't.
those ones are quick.
Those
Why
ones
do we
are
not
quick,
embrace
yeah.
them?
No, we cannot.
Oh.
Because there will be no room for respect. God is expecting
No,
everybody to come back to him. God is not happy in the death of any sinner.
Okay.
So the motive of God is that everybody can do anything, but at the end of the day, you come back to him. You come back to him, you give your life, you surrender back to him. Like the kingship we were talking about the other time. I have not seen it as a wrong thing. So depending on the motive of the Oba, the king, you might go there. I've been to many palaces, like Ajero of Ijero, and many other kings. They have eradicated something, like what you are saying. That was God himself alone. Look at Israel now. Look at Israel. When Israel was with God, look at the Lord is, all what we are talking about has been arranged. You cannot change it. At the end of the day, things will happen this way. These are the signs of end of ages. And it has been recorded in the Bible. It was only the Bible that recorded what is happening, what has happened, and what is going to happen. All what we are going through now is already in the Bible. It's not new to us Christians. All that we are passing through is not new. It has been written in the Bible. God himself said it's going to happen.
All right.
Once God said it's going to happen, it must happen.
All right. Just before we go, just one sentence from you before we go to our viewer concerning religious tolerance. Concerning religious tolerance, how we tolerate one each.
Yes, I've said it earlier. You see, it's craziness. When I am a Christian and I said, I want to kill Muslim to become a Christian, God himself, who created heaven and earth, allow the practice to be in practice. So he knows how to handle the matter. And when we return to him, it's on the name of our religion. Are you listening? It's on the name of our religion that will take us to heaven. It's not the name of our religion that will justify us. It is our attitude, the way of our manner that we handle our matter,
All right.
even before God.
All right.
And our religions.
All right.
So being a Christian does not say you should not go to hell.
Thank you very much.
Doesn't say anything.
All right, thank you very much, Dr. Idowu Allah, for coming on the show this
Thank you.
morning and for sharing your thoughts with us on the topic, talking about religion and traditional beliefs. We believe that next time we'll get in touch with you.
Thank you.
All
God
right,
bless you.
our dear viewer, this is where we'll be drawing the curtain on today's show. It's been nice hanging out with you, Flora.
Yes, I've had a good time as well this morning, and we also picked up a few here and there. And I also hope you did the same too. Do have yourself a beautiful day. My name is Flora Iwanya.
All right, my name is Folashade Ogido, saying share love everywhere you go.